It's the Transformers animated Cheetor. Yes, this is Cheetor. He is actually a Transformers Collectors Club exclusive that I got many, many years ago. And so I thought I'd break out this blast from the past, who's basically a repaint of the Animated Blurr, but made into Cheetor. And I'm going to break him out of the box, go through them, and maybe this is something you might want to hunt down for your collection. Be right back. So the Transformers Collectors Club always had these interesting boxes that you had to slide apart with lots of foam in there. And let's pull out, that's what she said, our Autobot Cheetor, who is basically a fast car, you know, and some people like fast cars. And he comes with a G1 style tech spec, so I'm not quite sure why it's a G1 style tech spec, considering he's animated, but still cool. And they did make a Transformers Timelines Cheetor instruction book. It's been a while since I've transformed Blur, or Cheetor for that matter, so I may need to refer to those, we'll see. I don't like to break my shit, you know. Despite what some people think happens behind the scenes, I very rarely break anything. But let's zoom in on him. He was packaged in his vehicle mode, so let's take a look at his vehicle mode. Again, repaint of Blur. He's got kind of his crowny stuff sticking out there. Red taillights, Autobot symbol on the front, and green, kind of almost like eyes, headlights. Kind of, I think, reminiscent of the green-eyed Cheetor. And just a very interesting looking car. I mean, if I drove this down the street, people would be like, what the fuck? Now you can see there are red detailing rims around the tires, which is a nice little touch. And you can see on the bottom, you can see that his head is reversed, but he's got an Autobot symbol that will be on his chest. And this is his weapon, which has great weapon storage. So it's a cool looking futuristic style sports car, even though it was like Cheetor ended up way, way, way in the past. But let's check out the rolling. All right, I've seen better. Let's try it again. Let's make sure he's totally aligned. Sometimes the slight bit of misalignment can make them not roll so well. Yeah, he doesn't roll the best. More of a slide. He does have wheels here, though the edges of these wheels are stationary, and these wheels roll, so just noticing on a smooth surface such as my board here, doesn't roll so well. But he is 5 3/4 inches long in his vehicle mode, and definitely shouts out Maximal in disguise. A Maximal in disguise, pretending to be an Autobot. What do we get next? But I do really like this guy. I'm gonna give you one more spin on the Turntable of Doom so you can see him in all his angles, and then we're gonna get into his robot mode, which animated, I have to say, was one of my favorite lines. So having a few extra animated guys, not a bad thing. Oh, and just so you're aware, you press on this Autobot symbol and pop, he's got a little saw. Cut you while driving. Ha ha ha. Okay, he probably wouldn't be like that. So there is animated Cheetor in his robot mode. I'm going to turn this slowly. I have to say that animated guys, as you can see on very smooth surfaces, don't do as well as they might. Just because their joints, they're all ball joints, and there's some posability, but could cause some falling. But showing you all the angles, and you can see he's got his Autobot shield with the energy weapon saw thing. I don't know what the hell it is. Same thing that Blur has. And he's got the funny Cheetor face. So taking a look at that, it's definitely a remold of totally new head sculpt. And he doesn't look happy. He's got this like permanent frown etched on his face. I guess because he's not a cheetah? How did you win that race? Well, I can tell you one thing, I'm not a cheetah. See what I did there? But let's go through his posability a bit, and he is Transformers animated, so he's got weird proportions, but good posability. Look at that, full Jean-Claude Van Damme. Woohoo! Now, animated did not have any type of ankle swivels, but, you know, you could spread the legs a bit. But he could kick forward quite high. He could kick back, not as high because he runs into these little posts, so it would kind of deflect him off to the side, but not bad. He can do a side kick, but better to do a kind of side front kick almost, because he's got these little things on his hips that keep him from doing a full side kick. But if you go forward and to the side, he can do like a crescent kick pretty good, or maybe an axe kick. Oh, boom! Damn you! Now, he does bend at the knees, so he can get into nice crouching fighting stances. And there is not exactly, there's kind of a swivel if you go out to the side with the ball joint, but doing it straight up and down you can't. You have to kind of go point it to the side in order to swivel it. But still, decent posability. Bends at the elbow, he's got a swivel there, and the arms, of course, can go all the way around and he can whip you with his weapon. Now the fists don't really look like they can hold anything, that's why he's got posts on the outside of his arms. The head, and it's actually part of the transformation, can go all the way around, but it can also kind of look forward, he can look up, kind of at an angle up, so good posability there, and you can even like kind of push his neck back so he can be like taking a snooze in his own backpack. He stands about 7 inches tall, so pretty good height on a cheetah. So overall, a decent figure. Again, if you have Animated Blurr, it's the same mold, just different head, but it's a cool callback to Beast Wars that was during the animated era. Whoa, I will say he stands a little bit better on the matte than the plastic of the Turntable of Doom. But cool figure, definitely glad that I was part of the Transformers Collectors Club when he came out. Unfortunately, I missed some other stuff that came out after the purge. I stopped being a member and I missed out on a lot of cool things, but I've still got some stuff up my sleeve. So there you have it, a very cool version of an animated Cheetor. And he's fun to have. And I will, of course, put links in the description. You can try to grab one of these for yourself. Probably gonna have to go to eBay for it. But I like him, and I'm gonna put him with all the other animated toys. And they'll have fun together. And speaking of fun, oh, I forgot to mention, he does twist at the waist. If you wanna go all the way around, you can. It just feels a little tough there. Oof, almost left out a major thing and I would have to do an apology video. But anyway, I hope you're enjoying these videos as much as I enjoy making them. And while you're debating whether or not you want an animated Cheetor, I do have a video over here where I have some kind of animated style knockoffs that are really cool. You should check those out. And if you are really enjoying my content, feel free to subscribe. But most of all, I would like you to have some fun and good hunting.